30 Minutes with Ron. Hello, I'm Ron Gagliardi. I'm the host of 30 Minutes with Ron. And tonight we have a guest that has an interesting story. I first became aware of this gentleman while watching television. My wife and I were watching one of our favorite shows, which is called Madam Secretary, and there was a crowd scene, and I said, "Look, Diane, that kid looks just like somebody who goes to Cheshire High School," because I sub there and I'd go there and she works there. And she said, "That is somebody who goes to Cheshire High School." I said, "Oh, I got to find out about this guy, because I think I could put him in Cheshire Magazine," which I happen to have right here. I'm not even telling you who he is yet, but I'm going to kind of tease this a little bit. So here's Cheshire Magazine. Got to hold it very still, because otherwise it bounces around a little bit. And on page 23 and 22, there's an article about this gentleman, and it's entitled, "What is Driving Connor Ford?" Now you know who he is. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the gentleman known as Connor Ford. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's certainly a thrill for me.
It is for me too, always.
Yes, I got to know him because I was interviewing him for the magazine, and I thought, wow, this guy's got an interesting story, because he kind of got into acting in a way that you wouldn't expect. And so I think he should probably tell us, because if I do all the talking, then that's not going to help at all. So Connor, tell us way back what got you into performing, and then what got you into acting.
Way back.
Way in the Wayback Machine, yes.
Well, I first started acting about a year. It's going to be going on a year. But I actually got into acting. I was a singer at first.
That's what I was hoping to get to, yes.
Yes, and long ago.
And far away.
Yeah, far away. But I became a singer, and I found my voice after my family had some troubles, and then I heard this song on the radio. I was like, hey, this is a really good song, if I could think that when I was younger. And I was, hey, this is a really good song. So I went to my, at that time, basement, went on the computer, and I started typing in the song and listening to it, and put the headphones on. Didn't even realize I was singing loud, but my mom came down the stairs and she was like, "Connor?" I was like, "What, are you okay? Is everything okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, but you're singing." And I was like, I didn't even know. I thought I was just listening to it. And that's sort of how it started. And then it sort of snowballed on. And fast forward, not a whole bunch of years, but fast forward a couple of years. And I saw this show on TV, some of you may know it, called America's Got Talent.
Aha!
And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool to be on that show? Wouldn't it be cool to audition in front of those judges and show off my talent, hopefully? And I started to sign up for this show. And then from there, once I got all the paperwork done, all the signatures, all the bring your IDs, I went down to New York very early in the morning, stood in line for a very long time, and finally got in, auditioned for the audition, because there's never just go right on TV.
Never. No.
Never. There's, it was an audition for the audition, so I had to audition to get onto TV, and if I made it, then I would go into another round, and if I made that, then I'd go on TV. And so I went, auditioned in front of the producers. No emotion, of course, was shown by them. Just, "Thank you for coming. Have a nice day. Bye." And that didn't destroy me, but made me like, oh, do they not like me? Do they like me? And whole ride home, stressing out in the car, they're like, "Yeah, you'll find out about a week or two, give or take." I was like, oh, cool. 6 months goes by, and didn't hear, and finally heard from them that I didn't make it. So I was like, you know what, this is my first time. Let's try again next time. Tried again next year, didn't make it. Then I was like, all right, my confidence is starting to slowly decrease. Mm-hmm. So I had to think of something else, and I thought about American Idol. And this would have been, if it aired, this would have been the last season until it got renewed and all the new judges. And so I auditioned for American Idol. Luckily, 6 months didn't go by. Maybe a week, like it was supposed to happen for America's Got Talent. And a week went by. I finally heard from them. Nope, didn't make it. But they gave me sort of a hint as to if I was going to make it when I actually auditioned, which I loved because I could figure out right then and there. They were like, yeah, you have a really good voice, but if you work on the performance part of it, which I'll get the story you'll pick up there.
Well, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
It'll trail into something new eventually.
All right.
But they said, yeah, you need to get the performance part down. So I said, okay. And as I was leaving, famous golden ticket, strong wind picked up, golden ticket right in the face. And I was like, oh, that didn't feel good because I know now I'm not going to get it. So I went home that day and kind of rethought, all right, they said I had a really good voice. Performance part, performance, acting. And so I watched countless movies, watched probably my favorite actor, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's just beyond this world. And I watched him and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to get into acting? So me, my father, my mother, my family, all of us sat down and really got to know the business and got to what we can use to build upon and just make for a long-lasting career, because I wanted longevity. I didn't want to go into a set, do a gig every time again, and then just disappear. I wanted to make the most out of the career. So I got signed to a local agency, CT Kids Talent Management. And from there, I started getting gigs right off the bat. And I was very happy because, you know, that first you got bit by the acting bug, as they say. And that first sort of moment, I was like, oh man, I'm going to make it to Hollywood like that. It's going to be so easy. Look how fast this is going. And that was not the case at all, I realized. Because I started getting these gigs and I started to realize, oh, I'm not getting any of these gigs. I'm just sort of getting them in the email and then not accomplishing anything. And then finally, when I got my first ever show, I didn't start at like a commercial, or I didn't start voiceovers, which happened later on, but I did a TV show, Madam Secretary, which I know you mentioned.
Oh, yes.
I started background for that, and then I was like, oh, this is really going somewhere now. Then about a week, or no, the next day actually, they said, hey, we'd like you to come back for Blue Bloods. And that's when I was like, all right, this will start coming. Next day I'm going to hear something. I know it. I just know it. And then since December, I have not heard one word.
Not even a squeak.
Not even a squeak.
Not even a squeak.
Sending emails, trying to do whatever I can, because I promised myself that if I was going to do the work, I would do it with my own two hands. I was occasionally going to get help, obviously, because you all need help. But I wanted to make sure that I put the hard work in, blood, sweat, tears, to earn the respect that I sort of craved.
Right.
And so I told this story to you, I'm sure, when we were doing Cheshire Magazine, the interview. The director story, as I like to call it. Her name is Deborah Reines. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name.
She might not see the show, so
okay, that's okay.
She's probably watching, some other thing. Yeah,
some other, or directing,
Yeah, right.
But I talked to her after she was thanking everybody for coming on set, and I was like, oh, I got to take advantage of this, because everybody else was walking by shaking her hand, thank you, yeah, have a good night, bye, and then just sort of walked out. But I took this as my opportunity, and I said to her, yeah, man, I really love this. It's a dream to be on set, especially of a famous TV show. And she said, yeah, well, I don't know who your manager is or agent, but tell her or him to email me and we'll get you back on the show. Maybe you could even do it full time. So I lit up like a Christmas tree, of
Oh, yeah.
course. Walked out smiling, running, Dad, I could go on the show full time now. Now, at that time, I made the huge mistake. I didn't get her name. So when I went back home, I was like, oh, we're going to do this. I'm going to get on full time, and it's going to be amazing, and maybe I won't even have to go to school anymore. And I got home, and I told my manager. She was like, oh, that's great, Connor. So what's her name? I don't know. Can I get back to you? And she goes, sure. So we searched for months for this director's name, could not find it anywhere. And you know when you're looking for something and never shows up, months later you stumble upon it when you're not even looking for it? That's what happened. And so I contacted her and told her, hey, I'm the kid you spoke to on set, and I really hope I can do the show full time. By that time, no response.
Right.
Probably didn't even remember me. And that was a wasted opportunity. And from there on, just been waiting until something picks up again.
Well, these things happen.
They do.
I mean, you're in a career that has its ups and downs, and you have to be very lucky and also very good to start out at the top. And
Yeah.
you were trying to start out at the top, and that's not that easy.
Mm-mm.
But before we go back into the acting gig, we should let people in Cheshire know that you are from Cheshire,
Yes.
and you went to Cheshire schools, and those
Uh-huh.
are
Dodd Middle School. Well, first, Darcy.
yeah, Darcy.
Highland, Dodd Middle School, and now I'm sophomore in Cheshire High.
Okay, so now you weren't actually doing any acting. Weren't in the plays at the schools, right?
No plays, and I don't know why. I just never pictured myself in them, and I always thought to myself, hey, these could really help, but I never got into them.
Huh. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
But we'll forgive you.
Thank you.
Yes. Isn't that
Thank
nice?
you so much.
We're going to forgive you, yes. All right, so now back to the acting thing.
Yes.
From what I understand from you, you can appear on camera,
Yep.
but you can also do something called voiceovers.
Yes.
What's happening in the world of voiceovers?
So when I said that I didn't get any acting gigs since December, what I meant was TV show wise.
Mm-hmm.
Voiceovers is completely different because you're not on camera. You're just in a little small box recording your voice, and that's it. Well, so I got a couple voiceovers, one for a beautiful Japanese animated film, and one for a Chevy commercial, two completely different things. And so I did the voiceover for the Japanese film, and I thought, wow, I was pretty good at that. I hopefully I'll make it. Hopefully I sound like what they want me to sound like, because it's all about what they want you to sound like and what they want you to look like. And if you're not that, you're out.
Mm.
So I did that. Still waiting to hear back. They said sometime in May. So hopefully I'll hear. If not, keep moving forward. And then the Chevy commercial, I did a little after that, and I'll be hearing sometime in May, later in May. And if I don't hear from them, I'll just keep moving forward and hopefully get some more jobs.
That is to be desired.
Yes.
And hopefully to be attained.
Yes, hopefully.
Now, what do your compadres feel about this? Is this a good thing for dating? Is this a good thing for having friends that you're on television, you're an aspiring actor?
A lot of kids just, that's what kept me going, is the people. A lot of times I just wanted to quit and wanted to be like, you know what, nothing's coming in. I gotta get out and do something. But kids inspired me to do what I love to do and kept me going. So they said, you know, you inspire me, you're so motivational, you're such a hard worker. And I really took those to heart, and I was like, thank you, because I was this close to kind of kicking it to the curb and being like, you know, singing didn't work, crushed me, okay, acting now doesn't work, what do I do now? I can't just work at Dairy Queen all day or do any of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people definitely are the ones that kept me going. Close friends, family is the most important, obviously.
Oh, yes.
That kept me going.
They even drive you to some of these gigs.
They do.
Yes.
A lot of the times they do, because I can't drive myself yet.
That's right.
But yeah, a lot of the times they do drive me to all the gigs, which mainly in New York. some of them, one of them I got a random one, like they were like, yeah, come to St. Louis and we'll film you there. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. Are you paying for my flight there and some food? And they were like, yeah, we could do that. Let's see if you get the job. Didn't get the job, so didn't have to worry about it. But yeah, some of them are just random spots. They could be Florida, they could be across the states in California or wherever. Never know.
Never know. Well, I understand from having talked to you about this before that there was a little bit of a Disney effect coming that might have happened, and then something else happened. So can you share that? Because that's a Disney experience. I mean, not everyone has that.
Yeah. So my aunt actually heard, and this is one of the moments again where I was about to be like, I'm not getting anything. I just got to give up. And the call came from my aunt. She said, Connor, I just heard this amazing thing on the radio. It's auditions for Disney. And I was like, the Disney, like Disney Channel? And she goes, yeah, the Disney. They're in Boston. They're in one of the hotels. There's many there. And she said, yeah, the auditions are there. We would love to come with you. Maybe my daughter could even do it. And I said, yeah, that's great. Let's do it. We got there. It ended up, instead of just Disney, it ended up being for one of the biggest acting companies in the world, IGBT. And IGBT has casted Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, all the famous actors that you can imagine. And I went into the audition, and I wasn't expecting it to be the way it was. But first, they sat us down, had a meeting with us, and then I was like, okay, this is really cool. I'd love to do this. Seems strict, lots of rules, but if I follow them, I should be fine. Finally got to the audition, extremely nervous. The producer that's been responsible for many, many famous and long careers. And I got in front of him. It was a Coca-Cola script that I had to read out. And don't remember the script, but I know I had a couple lines that I had to say to him, and he was like, that's awesome. We will text you and let you know if you made it tonight. So I said, great. Go home. It was not 6 months later, like the America's Got Talent experience. It was that night, like they said. But something else happened where they said, hey, congratulations, you made it. I was like, oh, I made it. That's so awesome. And then they said, choose your financial plan tonight and let us know. Come back tomorrow. Let us know your financial plan. I said, wait, what? Financial plan? What does that mean? So I looked through the packet that they gave us. Small letters, of course. Here's your financial plan ideas. You can get promoted with us for $1,000. You can get half services for $3,000, or you can get all of our services for $9,000. That was pushed aside.
Immediately?
Yep. I was like, okay, that's not good. Mom, can I do this? I don't know, honey. We got to look into it, which, no. That means no.
Yeah.
And then after that, after when I was like, got the negative out of my head, I thought, wait a minute. The biggest acting company in the world that casted all these famous actors and actresses, very talented, of course, liked me, wanted to represent me, and wanted to get me onto shows. That in and of itself was so big to me that I kept going and kept pushing forward finally. Mm-hmm. Which, interesting experience.
I'll bet it is, and
yeah.
Probably more to come.
Hopefully.
Now, I'm going to share a quick story here with the audience and with you. When I was in high school, I was an attention freak then. And of course, I don't like attention now. I mean, you can tell I hate attention. Of course, yes. But then I was like on the crew, the stage crew. Wasn't one of the actors. Mm-hmm. And I was, at that time, I was still the wacky person that I ended up still being. And the person who was in charge of the group, the high school actors, she came up to me one day and she said, Ron, I want you to star in our next comedy production. I even remember the title was The Mad Woman of Chaillot. I probably was not going to be the Mad Woman.
No, probably not.
You never know. And so I said, wow, can I think about that? And she said, yeah, think about it. So I decided, no, I don't want to do that because I might forget my lines. And then I had a memory. Now I forgot where I put it. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not,
Everybody does eventually.
yeah, it's not so great. So I often wonder what would have happened if I had said, yes, I want to do that. I might have been in a total different place and have new people in my life. And I like the people that are in my life now. So I'm kind of glad I didn't do this.
Yeah.
But this is leading to a question. How do you memorize lines?
Well, if I were to get lines, hopefully one day. But if some of the lines that I got, like the Coca-Cola lines, just constantly just chunking it and finally putting it together at the end. But
Explain what chunking is, because a lot of people don't know. I mean, I've seen it in school, but
yeah.
People may not know what chunking does and what it does for you.
So one of them was like one of the lines, which I don't remember now.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm the kind of, walk into the room and forget what you're doing sort of deal. Yeah. But one of the lines was like, Coca-Cola is amazing. This is freshness. This is delicious. So I had to chunk it down. Coca-Cola is amazing. Let's remember that. This is freshness. Let's remember that now. And delicious. Let's remember that. And that's not the exact line,
Right,
but
yeah.
just an example. And I was like, all right, let's go over and go. Coca-Cola, fresh, delicious, and that didn't happen. And I realized that's also one of the moments where I realized I need to put in the work. I can't just sit here and, all right, acting, let's come on in. Let's make me a star. And that's also one of the moments where I was like, yeah, I really got to put in the work. Even in the shower, like I was just in the shower and I was just saying my lines, and I was smiling, acting like I was holding the Coke can. And my mom came, she was, Connor, what are you doing? I was like talking to myself pretty much. Then I realized how crazy I sounded, but yeah, just practice.
Practice.
Everything. Everything.
Well, I have a hint for you, and a hint for any aspiring actors or anybody who wants to memorize anything that it's important that you memorize this thing. There is a group of volumes from the Dr. Bruno First Memory Course. Did I tell you this when we were getting interviewed?
I think you
When we were
did.
doing the
I
interview?
think I know what's coming.
All right, well, this was when I was in high school, and I needed to do better memory stuff.
Yep.
And my friend of mine and I sent for the Dr. Bruno First Memory Course. It was 10 volumes, and the first volume gave you the system that would then help you to understand and how to do this. And so by the end of the summer, having taken this wonderful course, a person could read a list of 100 things to myself and my friend, giving us about 2 or 3 seconds between each thing. And then they could say, at the end of this, we never saw the list, by the way. They could say, tell us number 57. Say it backwards and forwards. And we could do that because of this Dr. Bruno First Memory Course.
Yep.
So I'm recommending that if you ever have an opportunity to use the Dr. Bruno First Memory Course, by all means do it. And even as an addendum to that, I tried to get my Dr. Bruno First Memory Course, tried to find it because I wanted to kind of bone up on it. I forgot where I put my memory course.
That's conflicting a little bit.
That's true, but I forgot where I put my memory course. I finally found another one at a tag sale, so I still have now a Dr. Bruno First Memory Course.
That's good.
So if anybody wants to borrow it, see me.
All right.
Or see your agent.
I'll see my agent.
Yes, now. Okay. So what are your goals for the future? Because you got to have goals.
Gotta have goals.
Goals.
One of my main things about goals is to challenge yourself, but be aware that they might not all work out. Especially for me, you need to, and everybody that works in any kind of field, whether it's acting or whatever you do and aspire to do, you gotta have goals on top of goals on top of goals. Because when you start out with that first goal, what happens if it doesn't work out or you accomplish it? What do I do now? And that's something that I figured out quickly. So you have to have the first goal and the second and the one after that and the one after that prepared, or else you can't do anything.
That's right.
One of my main goals starting out, I boiled it down to 3 things. Hopefully getting signed by the agency, getting some auditions, and shooting off into the sunset. That didn't work out. There were many steps in between, obviously. But some of my goals going forward, I always say, especially on social media, where I advertise a lot,
Good move.
be the hardest worker in the room. Rent's due, all these types of phrases and, corny lines and all that. But that's one of them. Be the hardest worker in the room. Always keep moving forward, never give up, and to hopefully become a famous actor one day. And that last one is stretching me a lot. It's a huge one, but hopefully one day
Hopefully
I can.
one day.
You just need that break, and it's all about keeping up with what's going on, and networking is a huge one, because if you don't show people what you can do, how are they ever going to know
Right.
what you're capable of?
Well, hopefully this show might be a stepping stone to
Hoping so.
greatness.
Hoping so.
It's going to be on YouTube.
Everybody's gotta share it across every platform they have.
Right? And I'm going to give a shout out to someone out in the audience named Jim Hawk, who's been on this show. He's a filmmaker. He's actually doing a movie called Connor, of all things.
That's
and I'm going to
perfect.
see if I can get Connor hooked up with Jim Hawk. So, Connor, we're
Yes.
wrapping up. Thank you so much
Awesome.
for being here.
Thank you for having
And
me.
I hope you have a career that is resplendent with greatness.
Twinkling in the stars.
Twinkling in
hopefully.
the stars.
Twinkling in the stars.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else, thank you very much for tuning in. And don't forget, Connor's going someplace. Maybe you can help him go there. All right.